Exclusion is a favourite tactic of a narcissistic individual, as most people have been excluded from something at one point or another in their lives. You can know it cuts deep when a friend invites you somewhere and then at the last minute cancels on you, and then you find out from another friend that they went and did it with the other friend instead. It hurts. Narcissistic people exclude you from many things, and they will socially exclude you to remain in control over you, to punish you so that they can have that sense of superiority over you. It's not just mean-spirited children or bullies or mean girls that will go all out to exclude people. Narcissistic individuals do like this weapon, as it's quite difficult to call them out on it, and when you do, they often play the victim. And most people have felt isolated at some point within their lives. Narcissistic individuals, just like other people, can't stand being left out or excluded, and therefore, because they know it hurts them, they will do it to you. The majority of people, when they know something could potentially hurt them or hurt someone, don't do it to those that they care about. They purposefully make sure they don't do it. Narcissistic individuals go out of their way to hurt people. So they can exclude you by simply ignoring you, by shunning you, by avoiding interacting with you. So if you're in the family home with other family members, the narcissistic individual can quite happily talk and discuss things with everyone else, but ignore you. Or if you walk into the room, you can hear a penny drop, it falls silent. Or they can be quite overt with it, and if you start a conversation, they can sit there with the person next to them and say, "Can you hear somebody talking?" And they're smug with it too, and the other people can feel uncomfortable. You've got that sense of uneasiness, and if you call them out, they can just accuse you of being the one that's too sensitive or can't take a joke. They're going to gaslight you. They get it so that the other parties don't step out of line because they don't want to be excluded, and they get it so the other parties join in and enable the narcissist, so they can just leave you out of the conversation. And because you can actually sound petty bringing it up, or a narcissistic, if you bring it up, a narcissistic individual will make out that you're the one that's sounding petty. You can also kind of have that sort of adrenaline within you where you feel a bit too shaky to say anything. A narcissistic individual will happily exclude you from group activities. They might simply just not invite you, and then when you find out and ask them about it, they twist it like they were doing you a favour. They turn around and say, "I didn't think you'd really enjoy that. I didn't think you'd be interested in that." So they make plans behind your back and go ahead and do it, and then leave you to find out. And sometimes they lay the trail so that you do find out, and then they justify it in some way, almost like they were doing you the favour. They will use hurtful comments towards you in front of other people, and then if you do dare to say anything, they'll just claim that they were only joking. And it's these remarks that just make you feel uneasy, make you feel unwelcome. Narcissistic individuals will go all out to form a clique with other people, and they will go all out to leave you out of that clique. And you can have friends in that clique that you really get on with, that you have a lot in common with, but the narcissist is going to go all out to possibly try and ruin your reputation, to scapegoat you in some way, to claim that you're not trustworthy. They're going to go all out to plant those seeds of doubt in other people's minds about you so that you get left out. Because to socially exclude you, they will go all out to spread those rumours and that gossip about you. to ruin your reputation, to ruin your credibility. So people don't want to spend time with you. They can just nitpick and tease and humiliate you and mock you in front of others. You will be the butt of their jokes in front of everybody else. And again, say something, you're too sensitive, you can't take a joke, it's only a bit of banter. And males especially, because they do have that banter. Females can too, because you can have that bit of a joke. It's hard to differentiate between which is just a bit of harmless fun and when something's been taken too far. With a narcissist, when something's been taken too far, they're not going to take your feelings into consideration. They lack the empathy to do so. They're going to recognise this hurts you and they're going to do it all the more. They will cancel plans on you at the last minute. Or you can try and arrange something. Hey, does everyone fancy going here? If it's a narcissistic friend, does everyone fancy doing this? And as you go around, everyone's like, no, I'm busy, no, I'm busy, no, I'm doing this, no, I'm doing that, no, I'm doing the other. And you can think to yourself, well, actually, I'm just going to go anyway. Happy to go by myself. So you go by yourself, and when you arrive, they're all already there. They didn't think you'd show up by yourself. They didn't want you there. That's heartbreaking to witness. Narcissistic partners will arrange to do something and then they get what they perceive to be a better offer and they drop you for someone else. And it can be a family event and then they'll just not invite you. The last time they took you, you could have asked for a drink and instead of getting you a single, they were getting you triples and getting you off your face and then turn around and say, well, they can't take you anyway. You make a show of yourself. So they exclude you that way. And then when they go, they can tell everyone how you're the one with the drinking problem and it's not wise for you to be around alcohol. So it seems to those other parties that they're doing you a favour when they're just excluding you. They'll happily simply just not invite you along. More often than not though, they seem to like to find a way for you to find out and then have a reasonable excuse like they were doing you a favour. They can simply just ignore your messages or calls. You can make plans and then they just ignore them, fail to show up. When it comes to narcissists, they exclude you out of many things, but that social isolation, it hurts. And they do it so that they can remain in control over the situation, so that they can control the friendship groups and what people think of other people. When it comes to narcissistic individuals, when it comes to people who exclude you or exclude others, they are not the kinds of people you want to be around. When you're dealing with a narcissistic individual who ruins events, you will often notice that you try and you try and you try to include them. You try to include them in everything. But they get to a point where they're just embarrassing because they're obnoxious. And at the beginning, you might have justified their obnoxious behaviour. However, there gets to a point where you begin to recognise them for who they are and you think, I can't do this anymore. They're going to spoil it for the other person. And then you feel like the mean one because then you start leaving them out. You stop giving them the information. You then believe you're the narcissistic one because you're now acting in a narcissistic manner. And the second you do that, a narcissist suddenly gets offended that you're leaving them out, that you're not treating them fairly. They play the victim. They don't recognise the behaviour that leads them to being isolated. But they will happily isolate you, even though you've done nothing to warrant being isolated, although you'll probably sit there and question yourself and wonder what on earth you've done wrong. Narcissists don't question themselves, they question everybody else. They blame and shame everybody else. So not only will they socially exclude you, when it gets to a point where you then stop inviting them, they play the victim with everyone to make it look like you're the one with the issue so that they can gain the sympathetic attention. Yet when they're excluding you, if you try to point anything out, people just don't tend to believe you because the narcissist has already gone in there first. They're playing a game of manipulation and exploitation, and they know how to play it far better than anyone who actually cares about another person. Because the fact that you care stops you from doing things that a narcissist will happily do if it works in their favour. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for somebody to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have several books out on Amazon, 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People If You Cannot Go No Contact, a Narcissistic Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, and how to create boundaries around those who have no respect for your boundaries. Those links will be in the description also if you'd like to check them out. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.